Hello, this is Asuntizi, and I want to make this video as soon as possible because this is something that I really wanted to talk about for a while, and it's the idea of minimum movement and if it should be allowed on speedrun.com as a category. It's a question I always ask myself because minimum movement is a category that's very important for world record grinders, but is it actually a category that's worth having on speedrun.com when it has nothing to do with speedrunning? In my opinion, minimum movement is fine because it's fine to have a category that's not quite speedrunning on speedrun.com, in my opinion. But there needs to be a guideline on how, is it worth being a minimum movement category? One of the things that should be considered is if the game has any room for optimization through minimum movement. Because one of the rules when it comes to requesting a game on speedrun.com is there an expectation for optimization through playing the game? And I feel like that really should be the guideline when it comes to creating the minimum movement category, just to make sure that if you're going to create the category that there's any room for optimization. There's a game that comes to mind that I really think is the most guilty when it comes to having a minimum movement category, but there's absolutely zero way for optimization, and that is Poor Thief. The problem that I see when it comes to Poor Thief is that it's basically become a tie fast. There's absolutely no optimization made, there's no untied world records. You're just there and you get the world record. All you have to do is basically watch the previous world records video and then copy what they do. And the thing is that most people probably wouldn't have played Poor Thief if it wasn't for the minimum movement category. But that's the main problem, is that the category is being added because world record grinders will go to that game. So you want the game to get popular, you need the minimum movement category. And I know that's why it's being added because I've gone through the same thought process. I've done the same mistake. I once bought a game named Labyrinth of Red and Blue, but I'll call it Lorb. It's back when Diane Ball was, making a bunch of mistakes. It was the only game I super modded when it comes to Dan Ball. And when I thought about, oh, how am I going to get some players to play this game, I was like, oh, I'm at minimum movement, even though it basically was useless. It really shouldn't have been a minimum movement. The good thing is, minimum movements was deleted from Lorb and Laminate Pieces because we all knew that it was wrong, that there was no optimization. The thing is, I don't see why Poor Thief isn't getting rid of their minimum movement when it's basically the same thing because there's no optimization, it's just a tie fest. We deleted Lorb and Laminate Pieces' minimum movements because of that reason. Why aren't we pushing for the same thing for Poor Thief? We need to uphold the same standards when it comes to each game. It's why games like Gravity Box and Stick With It can keep their minimum movements category. It's because that there is optimization to be made. More with Stick With It, a little less when it comes to Gravity Box. That's pretty debatable. But there's a reason why they get to keep their minimum movement because they actually have optimization as a main part of the minimum movement category. Basically, to wrap up the video, I feel like we need to have certain standards when it comes to minimum movement, and based off precedent, which is Lorb and Laminate Pieces. I feel like Poor Thief does not reach the right amount of standards for it to be able to continue having a minimum movement category. Minimum movement is fine in my opinion. It just needs to have some type of optimization as part of a reason for why it's there. Thank you for watching the video. I really appreciate it. This was Hustlin' TZ. If you want to speedrun the game that I've been showing on screen, it's Marble Racer. I'll place the link in the description. And yeah, that's my opinion on minimum movements. See you later.